Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
hey, y'all. What's up? Welcome to the
Welcome,
live.
Tribe. Welcome, Tribe. We are going to get started, but just to preface, I am Jasmine Wutan. I am a recent graduate of the Tech Career Accelerator program with Trabaja, and I just want to start off by introducing Trabaja. If you are new here, Trabaja has many things to offer. You can start by following them on LinkedIn. You can also sign up for Trabaja and make a profile. And you have access to plenty of great things like their Slack channel where there's a ton of resources, a ton of networking. A lot of questions get answered that you may not want to ask on LinkedIn. So that's great. And I've connected with a ton of people there. So it's a really great place to join if you are looking just for an extra community. And today we are here specifically to talk about the Tech Career Accelerator program, which is a program that myself and Joelle have graduated from recently, about our experience and also tell you how you can join the next cohort. So the mission of Trabaja is to bring underrepresented communities to the forefront of tech. And we want to increase diversity in tech and make sure that there are pathways. So just like I said, between making a profile on trabaja.co, between joining the Slack channel and the Tech Career Accelerator program, the mission is to increase access and diversity within tech. I'm going to start with an overview of the Tech Career Accelerator program before Joelle and I start to bounce off of each other and tell you specifically about our experience. So just an overview, some things that you will get in the 6-week program are self-paced e-workshops. You will get growth workshops where you will be able to learn from more seasoned tech professionals. You will have a personal career coach, which shout out to mine, hey girl. And then you will also get some curated career referrals. We will be joined by some other alumni, as well as the program manager that is leading the future cohorts. So if you have any questions, please enter them in the chat. Joelle and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have. But yes, I already did my introduction, but I will go into a little bit more depth. Like I said, I'm Jasmine. I'm a recent graduate of this program. I am also a former educator turned program manager who works with visionaries to untangle the knots in business that allows businesses to be more efficient through building systems and processes that really streamline things. So if you are somebody who is like, I have this thing going and I don't have the systems to expand, or I don't have the systems to continue, I am your girl. And I know that it is conference season. So if you are looking to learn how to manage and navigate a tech conference like a program manager, be sure to head over to my page and check my featured posts. And I'm going to pass it over to my friend Joelle.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the live. We're so glad y'all here. Yeah, my name is Joel, and I am also a recent graduate from the TSA program as a marketer. And what I do now is I am a content creator for Gen Z on LinkedIn, and specifically I focus on how to talk strategy, but also talk authenticity at the same time. So what I also do with that is I also have my own podcast as well. It's called Levante, and it is a space, a platform where I bring in a lot of Gen Z and millennials from my community of Latinx, Latino, Latina, Latine to speak on their personal struggles, to speak on how they overcame those personal struggles to meet their highs today, you know? And also, too, I like to show you guys the video and just to show you what the vibe is all about with Live On today. move. Let's go. Yeah, so that's the gist of the vibes that I like to bring with Levante. Just creating that space where we can have those critical conversations and know that we can talk about it, but then move on to our high. And don't forget those moments too, that what makes us who we are, because as much as we have our highs, we also have our lows as well, and we're human at the same time. And so you could reach out to me on LinkedIn if you just need advice with creating content on LinkedIn, or if you just want tips on how to network as a marketer at these conferences, because it is conference season. So if you're into marketing, and if you want to learn how to talk marketer, definitely hit me up on LinkedIn. And yes, I am very excited to dive deep into my story with TSA.
Love it. Okay, we will be joined shortly by our host, Stephanie. But just wanted to say shout out to NYC, shout out to ATL in the building. Hello from California. That's my home state. So, yes, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to Stephanie.
Hi, y'all. I'm so sorry about that technical issues. But thank you both. Thank you, my amazing hosts. I wanted to. I'm not sure, where we are at, but I can definitely, kind of take it. I think everyone can speak to the video that Joelle just posted, and that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Joelle. Love it. I'm sure. Did we go into tech? Explaining the Tech Career Accelerator program just yet?
Yep. So we're at the point now. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can get straight into our Q&A.
Great, perfect. So thank you so much for taking that on. So just a quick introduction. I won't take up too much time. My name is Stephanie Valenzuela. I am the community manager for Trabaja. And also my day job, I am a recruiter. So I'm a master connector. I love connecting people, not only to each other, but also to communities and building communities amongst individuals who may not feel comfortable, feel welcome. So my passion lies in that. And I also wanted to kind of touch base on, what the Tech Career Accelerator program is and who we are as Trabaja overall. So wanted to kind of give it overall. So mission of Trabaja is to really bring underrepresented communities to the forefront of tech, driven by social impact mission to increase diversity in tech, which is most important, and innovation nationwide. The Tech Career Accelerator specifically is designed to help professionals level up or break into their tech career. And they participate in 6 weeks. They basically, what we did and what this current cohort is doing is they will be doing self-paced workshops, live career growth workshops. They get personal career coaches, and they also get curated career referrals. So it's a really great opportunity to really level up, like I said, and to make yourself known in the tech world and to help build that confidence within yourself. So love to now pass it along so we can get some more information from our amazing panelists. First question, which I want to start with, and Jasmine, you can kick it off with this. What inspired your career path? And could you share a story or a moment that ignited your interest?
Sure. I am a former educator, and as most educators know, it's very taxing. It's very rewarding work, but it is very taxing. And once I started thinking about, having that question in my mind of what is next for me, I actually read a book called What Color is Your Parachute, recommended to me by one of my dear friends. And in that book, it encourages you to go through a bunch of exercises. And the one that really stood out to me was one where it had me rank my favorite skills to use. And what I realized is that although I was using the skills that I had, I wasn't using my favorite skills. So I took the top 5 skills after that inventory, showed it to anybody and said, hey, do you know of any roles that I can do where I can use my favorite skill set? And the feedback came back a lot of different things, but the one that I clung on to most was program manager. And as I started to speak to more program managers and really understand what the role is, I started to realize like, wow, this is kind of what I do just like on a normal, day-to-day basis. If I wasn't working, these are still skills that I would be using in my day-to-day life. And so that's really what pointed me on my career path. And once I got very clear on what I was looking for, tech actually kind of came to me. The market wasn't like it was now. And recruiters from different tech companies were coming to me because I had been able to brand myself as a solid program manager. And so from there, tech kind of came to me, and I was like, you know what? I will give it a try. And after trying it, I'm like, okay, yes, this is where I want to stay. So that's kind of how my career path was, very nonlinear, kind of happenstance. But now that I'm here and now that I've been through the TCA program, I've been able to add strategy to my passions. So that's kind of how I'm here.
The nonlinear path is especially true for a lot of people. So I love that you touched on that. Thank you. Joelle, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think?
Yeah, so for me, like just to dive a little bit specifically, what I do into marketing, what I have done in marketing was focus a lot of like content marketing. So really try to come up with a content strategy for a lot of startup businesses, like even with my family, within my family, like their own businesses before I got into internships, and then I landed at nonprofits, and then a few state agencies, and then followed up by the role that I am at today, which is focused on the data, more on the data side than on the creative side. So I'm a little bit on that on that off course, but I mean, I love the grade. So, but for me, my what inspired my career path was based off of overcoming the traumas that I used to had all my life, which was I had a low self-esteem. I felt afraid to speak my voice because, being second gen and being queer, and then also like having autism, having those three layers, it was hard to figure out my voice. So it wasn't until I decided to say, you know what, I like writing, so I'm gonna see where that goes. And then that helped me land into marketing, where it transformed my mind to go from just writing stories like fanfics to like literally thinking strategic to say, okay, this is a story that I want, but this is how I want to strategize it. This is how I want to like to hype it up. And this is how this story is gonna get optimized. Like really starting to get into that mindset where the stereotypes that I faced with having autism was that type of thinking would have been impossible. But I overcame that impossibility to make it possible, and that's what inspired my career path that I am on right now. That it was born uh, off of overcoming that trauma, and now like and being a part of the TCA and having gone through the TCA program, tech has not only just became a clutch, but it became my best friend in finding out how to talk to people, how to understand people, how to connect with people, and to be free as a butterfly and to just be bubbly and just be myself. I mean, like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, old me would have been like, no, you gotta go spiffy. But now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, because I want to be myself, but also show that I'm more than just the fashion look, that I can also bring value to the table as well.
Right. So what you're saying is you're a butterfly. Got it.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
are a butterfly. I see. As we all are. As we all are, but you are just embodying it. Thank you, Joel. That really speaks to me, and I'm sure it speaks to the audience too. I think being vulnerable and saying your truth and being who you are and standing in that truth is so important, and especially in tech, because we are underrepresented. So we need to make sure that we are out here just being ourselves. We don't need a code switch. We don't need to do those things. And both of you highlighted has really been important. I can also say as a TCA grad as well, which I forgot to mention in my intro, but I also was a TCA grad, Tech Career Accelerator grad. And one of the inspirations and kind of piggybacking off of both of you is that what inspired me in my career path is realizing that I've already been doing this work in my own for free. by myself in the nonprofit field, in my volunteer work, through my everyday life. I'm a first gen, I'm an oldest daughter, I'm a family manager by default. So I've had to be this person my whole life. And I didn't realize that I could put a title on it. And so if I'm going to start from ground zero, that's where it started. And then realizing I can get paid, and I can get paid well, and I can also build a career that is fulfilling. Is kind of how it all happened for me too. So, I am excited to be in this space and to grow in community management, but also in just connecting people overall. So it kind of leads to, the next question, and kind of leading into let's hone in a little bit more on Tech Career Accelerator. And either one, whoever wants to kind of go first. But the question is, when you initially joined, what were your expectations for the program's impact on your career? And then how did Trabaja's Tech Career Accelerator program align with those expectations? And whoever wants to take it first, feel free.
Do you want to jump in first, Joelle? I can't, but
yeah, I can jump in first. Yeah, so when I signed up for TCA, a lot of the expectations that I had were a lot of self expectations to really just go into the program, to be very open, to like really not just only learning different perspectives, but also being able to learn different ways to like reframe my approach when it does come to thinking about like the job market and how to promote yourself, how to put yourself on these platforms, right? Because it can be very daunting to like come onto these platforms to really try to be open and like try to figure out your voice, but then also try to like balance out like your professional aspirations. So that going into the program, I had a lot of self expectations with that, but the main hope that I had with this program was really just coming out to stop feeling the need to feel validated, to like go ahead and pursue something. And while I was in the program, when I was in the program, the thing that really resonated and sparked within me to launch my podcast during the program was that it was this very saying about don't think of sharing yourself as a form of bragging, but sharing yourself as a way of sharing a lesson to everyone, sharing that you are sharing a message to everyone, and to stop like basically putting self excuses on myself to like hide myself. And I said, wow, I'm not going to do that anymore. And so that program made me come to full circle with that realization, even though I was got a lot of reminders, but it made me come to that full circle realization that, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and launch my podcast. And it's my first, many of your first is not going to be good, but I'm going to try. That's what matters. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And that's how the TCA program not only just like helped me grow, but it also made me create new self expectations for myself. And when I think of growth, when I think of moving forward in life.
Right. So putting yourself out there, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Jasmine, what do you think? How was your experience?
Yeah, so initially when I joined, what like really, really, really attracted me was when I saw the list of the weekly topics was the personal branding. I know how difficult it is. Like, you go to a family function and your auntie who hasn't seen you in 10 years still sees you as who you were 10 years ago. And when you are a career changer, when you're coming from a different arena, or even if you are doing the same role in a different industry, it is important to figure out how to make sure that your aunties see you how you are today. And so I knew that I didn't really know anything about personal branding. Honestly, before the accelerator program, I didn't even know what a coffee chat was. I was literally just Like, I need to figure out how to get people to see me in a different light. And luckily for me, the personal branding, that session was toward the beginning of the cohort. So I had, basically the whole cohort to really push myself in that way. And I am happy to say that I have had a lot of success in that. Yeah, in the last 60 days, I have been able to double my tech network. And I have been able to have over 50,000 post impressions, which means that there are over 50,000 occurrences where somebody is seeing me in the narrative that I wrote and not the narrative that somebody else has written for me. Or, they see one title and they're like, well, they are being able to see me and I'm able to write my own narrative. And I have been loving that. And TCA definitely put that battery in my back.
Wow. I am just like that personal branding, it's especially what you're talking about, was also, I agree, was one of the most impactful sessions. And I kind of like tied everything together. So I'm glad to hear that really had an impact on you. And 50,000 is a lot. That's a whole lot. So I'm sorry.
Put a fire in the chat for Jasmine. Like, put a fire in the chat.
It's just 50,000, no big deal.
Hey.
That's it. And to say the least, that Tech Accelerator, these workshops really felt, it was small enough to feel that like you felt the impact of each of the speakers, each of the workshops. Every single time I left, I just felt even more empowered and even more motivated to just get out there and like fix my personal my snippet of who I am, and making sure that that's really honed in so that I know how I'm going to present myself out there. And so I also had that a very similar experience to both of you. Was my expectation, I really didn't go in with any expectations, but I came out with so much more than I thought I would ever get. And seeing how I can use LinkedIn to really promote myself and not feel scared, kind of similar to what Joel was saying, is, I was also kind of hiding behind the scenes, and I didn't really like showing my face. I didn't really want to post anything. And so Tech Accelerator really kind of leveled you up and kind of forced you to be uncomfortable. So I'm so glad that you all both mentioned that. I did want to quickly note, so Harshini is going to be joining. I know we mentioned it earlier in the beginning, but just to remind you all, Harshini is our program manager and she will be joining in. So she'll be dropping in shortly. Just wanted to let you all know. So if you have any of those questions specifically about the program, drop it in the chat, but she will be joining us later on. And she will be wrapping it up at the end as well. So, and on to the next question. So, biggest key takeaway from your experiences in Trabaja's Tech Career Accelerator program. Could you both highlight one key takeaway that has been the significant motivator for your growth? I'll let Jasmine, if you want to go first, go ahead.
Sure. I am somebody who has a very hard time spending money on myself. I have a very hard time, or had a very hard time investing into myself. I have no problem, doing that for others, but when it came to myself, there was definitely an imbalance. And one thing that this program really, like, my key takeaway from this program is that, one, investing in yourself can be absolutely uncomfortable. I feel like I have spent like the last 90 days in discomfort. Like, as soon as I signed up for the program, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm uncomfortable. I have to do all of these things. But always reminding myself, like, I am worth this. I do not want things to be the same as they were before I entered this program. So why would I keep doing the same thing? Like, it literally, you have to get to a place where, if you are going to invest in yourself and you really want to see a change, that things are going to be uncomfortable. And if they're not uncomfortable, if they're a little bit too familiar, that's probably not the right direction. So there were a ton of things throughout TCA that I was introduced to that I did not have the network to be introduced to before. Like, I never would have found out about BaddyCon. I never would have found out about 50 under 40 that I'm going to tomorrow through a connection that I made in the TCA program. And there just are so many opportunities out there that if you are willing to invest in yourself and willing to get uncomfortable, because believe it or not, I am very much so an introvert. I'm very much so in bed by 9. I'm very much so, we can't do this at the house. And there are so many things that I have had to, that I have been able to do for myself by just investing and getting uncomfortable, and sitting in that discomfort to get myself to growth. So that is the biggest takeaway for me. Invest in yourself, and it is going to be uncomfortable, and keep doing it anyway, because you are absolutely worth it.
Being uncomfortable in the discomfort. Highlight. Put that on a Post-it. Put that everywhere in your house. Literally, put it on your floor. I don't care, because that right there, gem. Joelle, please go ahead.
Yeah. So for me, like throughout the entire TCA experience, one message just comes to my head, and which is advocacy is your strength. It is not your fear. And that that your best advocator for yourself is yourself. And I do want to express that, as we're emphasizing advocacy for yourself as well, that you can still advocate for your community, still advocate for your friends. But for me, like, I was getting so wrapped up in like, I gotta make sure that I promote myself to impress, or I had to like really assimilate, like getting so focused on like the afterthoughts of others, and of like how I wanted, of like how I was going to be viewed, when in the moment you have to focus on promoting your story by taking action on yourself. And like, and again, that going through TCA not only taught me the re-emphasis of community is power, unity is power. I grew up with that saying all my life, that that it's okay to lean on your community, but also to remember to have the balance to also advocate for yourself, to be able to put yourself out there, because what strength isn't going solo on something, nor it's creating a codependency. It's the balance of saying, you know what, I'm going to continue to go about my own path and create my own passions and make it come to life. But I'm also going to say, I need help. How can you help me out? And then let me help you out. Like, be open to having that conversation, like putting aside the barrier of like, okay, I need to be self-efficient too. No, I am being self-efficient, but I'm working together.
Right.
So
right.
That's the biggest lesson I want to emphasize, that I've grown to learn as well, that strength is both.
Right. So collaborative, coming together.
Yeah.
Love. I love that. And to just highlight that even more, I agree. I think we all come from different places of the US, which is really interesting too. And I think that piece kind of gives us our unique kind of experiences. We're all literally on 3 different coasts right now. So that's to say that we wouldn't have been able to meet if it hadn't been for this Tech Career Accelerator program. I've learned so much from you, Joel. I've learned so much from you, Jasmine. I've learned so much from Shannon. I've learned so much from these, and both of you highlighted really important aspects to it. I will say just one small snippet is, one thing I learned that I knew, but I didn't practice, was not dimming your light, because we are in spaces where we don't look like people in the spaces we are in. And that's okay. And it is what it is. We're just going to have to grow, and we have to be that person. But we have to remember not to dim our light. We have to remember not to do things like kind of making ourselves smaller, not speaking up as much, because then we're not going to get anywhere. So I love what you both said. I believe that we will become the majority. It's going to take some time, but it's going to get there. So, shout out to you both for being in these spaces, and again, being in the discomfort. So I did want to pull some questions from the chat really quick. There are a couple things that, so somebody, Kenya, thank you so much for asking. So completing the TCA program while working full time. Does anybody want to take that really quick and kind of, see how they did it? I know we all had full-time jobs at one point. So
Yes.
Jasmine.
Let me tell you, I'm going to just tell y'all this. My niece stayed with me this summer. I'm not a parent, but my niece stayed with me this summer between working full time and if you have childcare responsibilities, trust me, you can get it done. It is a lot, and trust me, I was only in 6 weeks. I'm not giving a full parent perspective, but what I'm saying is it is possible. And like, you have to think like you are like, this is in a program called Trabaja. Like, your tribe has your back, literally. There were plenty of times where I'm like, Joel, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And he's like, you got this. You got this. You got this. Tell me what you need. Coming to, any chance that I got to commune with my cohort, they were helpful. These are people that you can lean on in real life to help you get through. So yes, if you are working full time, if you don't have experience, if you are new to anything, there will be a lot of information coming at you, but lean on your tribe. Lean on your tribe.
Yes. Okay, let's take another question. Oh, Joel, go ahead if you want to.
One thing I would add to that is, my key thing was creating a system that works, our organization system that works for you. I'm not gonna, for my system, right? Because I won't say that this system can fit everyone. One size doesn't fit all. I'm acknowledging that right here, right now. But creating a system for yourself, of just being like, okay, like I had this workshop time to time. Like creating that system is going to help you in the long run. That's like, you need to do whatever it's going to help you to juggle those things, because I felt like I was working. Being a content creator too, it feels like a full-time job as well. So it's a double full-time, but like it can, and with that said, it can be done. It's just, you need to put in the system that works for you,
Yes. And planning effectively. So being really good at your time management skills, I think, is important.
Yeah.
We do have one last question from the chat, and it would, if we could just have one of our panelists answer it. Would you, from Samuel, would you recommend the program to somebody with no prior work experiences in TI industries? Whoever wants to take it.
Sure, I'll jump in. Just to add to what I was saying, yeah, experience or no experience, it really doesn't matter. You're here to get information and put it into practice. So you will actually be able to learn from your cohort as well. And I always encourage everyone, when you're networking, not to just network up, because the people that are horizontal with you, peer to peer, are the people who are going to give you the real information, the real experiences, the real feedback, all of those things, because there's no dynamic that you may find when there is a hierarchy. So yes, in short.
It's perfect.
Now, also, sorry, network with people from different industries as well. Like, even like, for example, like, let me set this up. So, like, what I mean by that is, if you're going into program management, don't be afraid to network with a marketer. Don't be afraid to network with someone who works in sales. Why? Because what you're doing and networking with people from different industries, not only you're creating like different outlets to like potentially pivot into where you want to go into for the company that you want to go into, but also too, you're learning a key skill that you're gonna want to know when you like level up to the skies, like to those heights, which is cross collaboration with different stakeholders, with people from different departments. You're learning that skill when you network with people from different industries as well, because you're learning their language. And so when you have to collaborate with someone in a different department, you're gonna have to speak their language in order to get your point across, right? So I recommend that. I highly recommend that, because my mentors, they were not even in marketing. Some of them were in program management. Some of them were in a different industry. So I definitely recommend that.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of this program, is that, getting exposure to so many different people in so many different industries. I actually learned about an industry I didn't even know existed. And that was through Career Accelerator. So really great questions. I think those are valid. I think and it's definitely, you're seeing, you know, firsthand from 3 people who went through it. I actually wasn't employed at the time. I had just undergone a restructuring in my company, so I had some time, but I was doing a couple things on the side. But with time management, it is doable. So let's go ahead and you know, I want to make sure that we allow some time for our program manager to come on. And I do want to make sure that we answer just, you know, 2 more questions. So let's just do one more. So this next question is really about, you know, and in a quick snippet, if you all can answer it really quickly, the program itself featured workshops on diversity, equity, inclusion. Can you share one insight or advice in a quick, like 1 sentence, maybe 3 word, I don't know, and very quickly on how, or advice on how these workshops helped you deal with setbacks and adversity in your career, tech career? Go.
I
Jasmine.
can absolutely take this one. Setbacks don't exist. I come from a communal culture. There is no such thing as a setback because somebody has my back. And I think a lot of times as people of color, we think we need to show up and be perfect and be undeniable and be all of these things that are perfect, which those feelings are absolutely valid. But we have to understand that although our feelings are valid, sometimes it's just not true. And I think one thing that I have really been able to really sit in through the TCA program is through a whole bunch of critical conversations about identity in the workplace. It has really allowed me to reframe my thoughts around what is a setback. And I actually don't even have that in my vocabulary anymore because I give myself permission to be flawed, to be nonlinear, to be human, and to be able to navigate in whatever which way. Our plans, you know, that they are just our plans. So yeah, in terms of dealing with setbacks, I think being able to really lean on my cohort and just be able to have encouragement coming from a lot of different ways really has helped me just reframe in my mind what I consider a setback and really reframe it as just a redirection or, you know, just another challenge that I have been able to overcome.
Amazing. It's not, that's true. It should not be a word in our vocabulary. And you really explained it in a way that I think kind of puts it in a nice little packaging. So thank you. That's really helpful. Okay. Last but not least, and Joelle, I'll let you take this. If someone is considering participating, which many are, luckily, and I'm so happy to see this, in Trabaja's Tech Career Accelerator program, what advice would you offer them based on your own journey in a quick 1 sentence little summary?
Be open. So one thing is be open. Be open to be a learner, be a lifelong learner. Like do not ever think that learning stops even when you reach your highest peak. As a matter of fact, like you're still going to learn no matter where you are in life. So yes, like be a learner and most of all, do not compromise like your character to get to those points.
Yep, absolutely. Jasmine?
We come from an instant gratification culture, y'all. I am telling you, there is no such thing as a silver bullet. You get out what you put in. Your commitment is to yourself, not to TCA. So there is no level of information or whatever just sitting there that's going to get you what you want to do. If you are not ready to be on your Zoom, and that's a TikTok reference, okay? I hope you, if you know, you know.
Yeah, I love a TikTok reference.
Babes, because if that is not what you want to do, there is nothing. There is no level of advice that is going to get you from A to B if you are not ready to put in the work. Please hear me clearly when I say, if you do not put in the work, There is no solution for you. So please,
I was going to
if
say
you're
louder for the people in the back.
this is your program.
Oh my goodness.
Louder for the people in the back, please, because it is so easy to say, like, I did this, I joined one workshop and now I should know how to do all of it, or I should I should have this confidence, and it doesn't exude from us just naturally. Everybody has to you have to do the work, like you said. And it's hard. It's going to be hard. And it's going to be uncomfortable, like we also mentioned. So we need to write that down again. Also, I have a lot of sticky notes that I'm just going to have from this session of just like,
Yes.
you guys, it's all over my screen right now. So, oh man. Okay. So I know we had one more question in the chat. We do want to make sure that we leave some time for Harshini to come in. She is going to answer some more questions about the scope of the work that the current cohort is doing, and kind of giving an overview of her role. So yeah, let's go ahead and actually let's go ahead and answer this last question, and then we can move over to Harshini. Samuel, so, and it's okay, nothing sensitive here, we are open. Restriction based on immigration status. I can also answer this. That is a question actually for Shannon, and we can kind of touch base on that later. But thank you so much for asking that. All right. If anyone has any last minute, questions, any last minute thoughts that you kind of went home and you thought about it and you're like, I need to, it's burning. You can also find our amazing panelist speakers on LinkedIn. They will share their information in the chat, and I will also share my information. I am more than happy to connect with anyone who is willing to listen to me. So, please feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn, on whatever social platform that you'd like. And yes, so let's go ahead and let's move over to Harshini. She will be led into the group, and anyone that wants to stay on, please feel free. We love to have you all stay on with us. So few seconds, please think about your questions, because she is going to answer any and all. Hello, Harshini. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I want you to introduce yourself, and so take it away.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Harshini Musireddy, volunteer program manager at Tribaha's Tech Career Accelerator program. I specialize in simplifying complex situations and creating environments where technical teams excel. And with my background in tech, I bring a unique perspective to the Tech Career Accelerator program, because I'm not just managing it, but I'm also learning along the way. And I also deep dive into the understanding of how it benefits individuals and connect them with the right mentors. So it's always fun to learn along the way. So I've been learning from this cohort, and I'll still be doing that in the next cohort. I'm one quick note, like my co-speakers, I'm always eager to connect with like-minded people. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. And again, I'm thrilled to be here today to share more about the program. Do you want me to go ahead, Steph?
I would love to hear. Yes. So I think our group, and I think everyone out there, is really curious about, what you do in the program and kind of what it's looking like now. I can also kind of shed light on what it looked like before I was, from the previous cohort, but we'd love to hear what's going on right now.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, I would like to say it's been amazing being part of the Tech Career Accelerator program, which is designed to be a 6-week intensive program. And whether you're seeking networking opportunities, guidance, or skills to navigate the job search, we've got you covered. And we understand that cost is an important consideration. So if you can't pay in full, we offer a flexible payment plan, allowing you to pay monthly for your convenience.
Gotcha.
And our next cohort starts in early November, but they're limited availability. So I urge you to apply today. And another thing I want to add is this cohort has been so special to me because we've changed a lot of things. They're amazing mentors who guide our uh, job seekers, and not just by suggesting them. We actually go through the LinkedIn review, the resume review, and the entire process has been intense now. Previously, I think it was 10-week program, but now it was condensed. So I believe you need to commit to the program. Like Jasmine was saying, you put in the work, and I truly believe that you will exceed expectations. So
Absolutely. Do you think that, given we are on all different time zones, and that is something to note, something I don't think we really brought up in our last earlier, but I think, it does give us the opportunity to kind of collaborate with different minds from different parts of the US and different experiences and different backgrounds, and it's really an amazing place to find your tribe, to find your people, to find your community. Do you think, is there anything that you suggest, any way that you suggest people who may not be ready right now to join but are thinking about it? Is there anywhere that they can go to just stay involved, stay up to date? What do you think?
yes, if you go on to trabaja.co, the website, and there are options to join our Slack channel, join our, like you were mentioning, our tribe, and connect with them, there are open to work chat systems and chats. So you can actually connect with recruiters from across the country directly and ask them for resume reviews, mock interviews. There have been so many such great opportunities our tribe members have been using. So you're all welcome to the tribe. Just have to go to trabaja.co and click join our tribe.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Any last minute gems? I'd love to, if you want to leave us with anything before we hop off. You have your own
Yes.
unique skill set and experiences. So anything that you want to, yeah, leave us with.
Thank you. One thing I'll say that would really help you get better experience of the program is when you apply, give as many details as possible about yourself, about your career goals, because it'll help us understand you better so that we understand your needs and whom to match you with, who would help you get where you want to go. So, so be there, and I'm sure you are going to apply today. So.
Thank you. And if you didn't take anything away from this session, from this live, just know we are here and we feel you. And those feelings that you feel about, may not feel like you belong, you don't know where to go. You found it. This is it. So please reach out to Harshini. She will also drop her information in the chat. You can find her on LinkedIn or on the website. And I'd love to close out. So thank you so much, Harshini. Thank you so much, Joelle and Jasmine. I want to just say from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate this time that they took to, provide all the information and also go through the Tech Career Accelerator. You can always join our community via Slack, LinkedIn. You can also go on our website at trabaja.co, as we mentioned before. It's also in the chat. And you can connect with me. I am the community manager. I am on LinkedIn as well, so I'll also provide that information. So feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Shannon. We're all willing to help. And also, last but not least, please look out for the details about Diversitech conference in May of 2024, which will be located in Philly. So you don't want to miss it. Last year was amazing. It's going to be even more amazing this year. It is such a unique experience. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to leave that there. So we will see you all there. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all and look forward to connecting soon.